Well, I know I advertised the last transfer window as the one that was going to be a big one, but it's actually ended up being the January one. 8 players in, only 3 of them are goalkeepers, a new record sale, and I think we have a much, much improved squad that has a real chance of getting promoted now. Hello and welcome to part 112 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have matches against Birmingham and Bristol City, both in the Championship. Since you were last with me, we've been in some pretty decent form, apart from this weird game against Swansea, who are in the bottom half of the Championship and just smashed us in the FA Cup. I don't know what that was all about. But other than that, look, Carl Marsh, who I was writing off in the last episode, has started scoring goals, and this is what the Championship table looks like. 29 games gone, and we're on 50 points. We have a game in hand on most of the teams above us. We're only 4 points behind Bristol City, who are in second place, 6 points behind top of the table Burnley, with a game in hand on them. Ollie Steers, joint top scorer in the division. Everything is starting to look pretty good again, and we did some transfers. But I'm going to start firstly with the transfer that didn't happen, and it was heartbreaking because they've listed him for loan. Stoke listed Matondo for loan at the end of December. We immediately went in for him. Stoke accepted our offer straight away. Matondo didn't want to come. He turned us down. If we just have a look at his information, we're on his favourite clubs. I'm on his favourite staff. We went in for him. We had deals agreed by Stoke 6 or 7 times during the transfer window. He turned us down every time. We had one deal that offered him a £100,000 bonus for promotion. We tried everything and he just kept turning us down. And I think he just wanted to play top division football. So he's gone to Holland where he can do exactly that. He went there on deadline day, which is why he hasn't played for him yet. But he's going to go and play top flight football for Vitesse in Holland. And we'll try again if we get promoted. I'm going to try not to take it personally. At the end of the day, this man scored 100 league goals for us. We will take him back. I can understand his reasons for not wanting to come back a 5th time, having gone back to Stoke and kind of be seen as failing by being sent back to home. I get that, but at the same time, it was heartbreaking. But I guess the other motivation for him is he's probably now accepted he's not going to be in the team regularly at Stoke ever. We're never going to be able to pay him those kind of wages. Whereas Vitesse perhaps he wanted to go to a club where he could actually go and earn some decent money and actually maybe get a permanent deal to them. So we're kind of accepting that for now, at least, the Matondo era is over. But that hasn't stopped us doing plenty of transfers. As previously mentioned, the Stig has agreed. Stig went to Oxford. This one wasn't arranged in the last episode, and it's a bit of a shame. We've lost the 2 defenders that we brought in at the same time. Couturier's gone as well now, and he has gone to the Premier League, and it's our new record sale. £3 million up front, raising to £3.7 million. Oh, they've sent him straight out on loan to Wimbledon. What? So they've given us £3 million. I mean, look at the turnaround on that. We've had him a year, but bought him for £35,000. Never really played him. He was only ever a sub, really, although he's played a bit more this season, I guess. Sold him for £3 million. We did have to give 40% of the profit to Saint Etienne, who had a nice sell-on, so they're laughing as well. But he's gone straight out on loan to Wimbledon in League One, which seems a bit odd. But that gave us some money to then reinvest we have. I mentioned we've brought in a few goalkeepers, and you already know about a couple of them, and they're not the ones that we're actually going to be playing. I signed a third one who's even better. So Jan-Hendrik Balic you already knew about, but he's not as good as Humphreys yet, but does have potential. Albert Alabau you already know about, but we all know he's only 5'9". He does have potential, but he's 4th choice keeper at the club, or 5th choice because Watson's still here. Humphreys is going to be moving on. That was a panic buy when the Watson stuff was first going on. But the one who's actually going to be playing for us is Linus Montabel, who's 23-year-old, former German under-21 international, who is just about as good as Watson, with the potential to get better, and will be a leading Championship keeper in the future. He's been out on loan at Sunderland earlier this season, we actually bought him out of his loan at Sunderland, and he is going to be our new starting keeper, although he hasn't actually started for us yet, but you'll get to see him today. But we also spent some more money strengthening in all the positions that needed strengthening. And you can see that Mifsud's gone out on loan, so we also sent back the 2 left-winger loanees. We're kind of committing to the diamond again now. We don't have any wingers left at the club apart from Kane Bryan, and he can't do it all on his own or with a team, we found out earlier in the year. But Adam Hayes is a new centre-back, so this was our replacement for both Couturier and the Stig. 22-year-old England under-20 international centre-back, can also play left-back. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Not quite as good as what we've got, but has potential to improve. So he comes in as just as our 4th centre-back, really. And then, because we sent back lots of loans, Director of Football Costas started to get involved. He's brought in a 24-year-old central midfielder, Kylan Moncur, on loan from Cardiff until the end of the season. He's got 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. It puts him right up there as one of the best central midfielders at the club with Perry and Fernandez. So that's a decent loan. He then went and loaned us a striker, Thomas Fayette. Less excited about this one, but we are in need of strikers at the moment. Anthony Harris has been injured for a while, which is why Marsh and Steer have been playing together for so long. But Fayette's a 27-year-old, 3-star current ability on loan from Strasbourg until the end of the season. And he is apparently pretty much similar ability to both Steer and Marsh, who've been playing very well for us recently. Spent his entire career in France up until this point. He's also brought in another defender on loan, and this is one that we might try and steal permanently. Zarko Maksimovic, an 18-year-old Serbian under-19 international, not ready to play yet. I doubt you'll see him play this season, but he has the potential to be a Premier League defender in the future. If we can get him on the cheap, then we'll absolutely look to do that in an attempt to do this again, more than anything. Pick someone up on the cheap and sell them on for loads of money. And then lastly, Glenn Bennett, a new record signing for us, 22-year-old midfield player, 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Maybe a little bit of a misstep. To me, this was a player that I wanted all transfer window, and looking at that, he's perhaps not as good as the one my director of football brought in, but we won't worry about that. The important thing is we now have strength in depth in all positions we need to be able to play this system. So we've got some decent strikers, decent attacking midfielders, lots of options in midfield now, defensive midfield, centre-back, left-back, right-back, in goal. Strength in depth everywhere, a team that's in form, plus a little bit of money in the bank again. We sold a player for £3 million this month. Oh my word. Oh my word. How? Why? I don't understand. That's got to be wrong. That's got to be another example of things just glitching out a little bit. Let's go play a football match and pretend we didn't just see that. So, this is the team. We've got a debut for Montebel. Let's just see. He wants to be a goalkeeper. I want him to be a sweeper keeper. We'll compromise and he'll do it my way. Montebel in goal. A back four of Wearmouth, McLeish, McCrory and Gregson. Harrison at the base of the midfield. Fernandez and Perry ahead of him. Moss in behind. Steer and a returning Anthony Harris. So we spent all that money and the only new player you're seeing is Montebel, and we've still got Watson on the bench. We probably need to just get Watson out of things completely at the moment. Watson leaves very soon. I think he'll be gone before the second match. I think it was the 5th of February he was due to be leaving, so let's just get him out of the squad entirely. He's the reason we're not top of the league. If we hadn't have had that terrible spell of like 6 games where everyone was panicking and it was all because of him, if that hadn't have happened, we'd be top of the league at this point. Right, a team such as ours should be winning this game. We should be winning this game without too much of a problem. And fingers crossed, that's exactly what we shall do. We have got a couple of the new boys down on the bench, as you can see. Hayes, Bennett, Fayette, all down on the bench. So we might see them later on in the game. Moncur, not yet fit to play. He came in and I don't know if he picked up an injury straight. I forget. This is what happens with late night Kev. I don't know what he's up to. But I need to buy him a notebook so he can leave me messages. I think he picked up a knock, or he just arrived and wasn't match fit. There's a reason he's not even in consideration yet. We've not seen anything of him yet. And I'm sure all will become clear because we'll check on it before the next match. He might even play in the next match if he's miraculously fit. Who knows? Perry picks up a yellow card just before half-time. But other than that, nothing at all has happened in that first half. Where are Birmingham now? When we played them earlier in the year, they were top of the league, I think. I'm sure they were. They've fallen down into a relegation battle. Everything's gone wrong at Birmingham. Right, assertive. We're not doing too badly. We're not doing brilliantly, obviously. Although we are the better team in the game, but it's not like we're creating a whole load of chances. So it would be nice to conjure up a goal from somewhere fairly soon. Harris is struggling a little bit, probably because of fitness. I don't think he passed a test to play the entire game, so we might take Anthony Harris off and bring Marsh on in a minute. Because as you saw from our schedule, Carl Marsh has scored in every game he's played in January. So he's probably feeling a little bit hard done by to be starting on the bench today. Oh, that's terrible from McLeish. And we get away with it because I don't know what their striker was trying to do. Almost an open goal and tries to lob the keeper when all he had to do was just hit it either side of him. There was nobody there to challenge him. That was insane. Right, we're going to take off Harris and we're going to bring on Marsh. And what else are we going to do? Perry can come off and we'll have a look at new boy Bennett playing in midfield. So this is where I prove that it was worth me spending the money on him that I did. To me, he's still young, has lots of potential. I think he'll end up showing as a good signing. And I'm going to favour my own players that I've picked rather than these loanees that my director of football has picked. I want to prove that I'm the genius. And I will never trust loanees again after what's happened with David Sawinski and Matondo now in the last 6 months, really. We've kind of had our policy of relying on loans proven to be a little bit silly. Perhaps we need to move Rodgers on as well. If we're abandoning loans completely, we're not abandoning loans completely, but I'll try not to build the team around loans anymore. And I think that's the one positive we've got, or one of the positives coming out of the last year of game time since the Stig incident. I know we've kind of been treading water competition-wise, league position-wise, but a year ago, we were playing this system with players of roughly this quality and 5 of them were loanees. Now we're doing it and they're pretty much all our players. And that's a big improvement. Even if we've not necessarily improved the quality of the team, the fact they're all our players is progress and will make it easier when the step up to the Premier League actually comes. Because obviously we can only have 2 loan players in the Premier League from domestic loans. So that could have been a disaster, or would have been a disaster, and now hopefully it's a disaster we can avoid. Right, let's demand more for the last 10 minutes. We've got to try and get an equaliser in this game. It's Gregson, out on the right-hand side, just straight into a Birmingham player. And we've not played very well at all today. McCrory with a lovely tackle, but he's now going to get sent off for it. He won the ball there. How is the... I don't understand. He won the ball. It cannoned out for a throw-in. There was no foul there. We've used all our substitutions. No one else can play centre-back. We'll just do this. Harrison's going to have to come back and play centre-back for us. And I don't think we're going to get anything out of this game now. I don't understand how that's a red card. And now we're 2-0 down. And that game's been a mess. I still claim we have lots of positives. The club is feeling positive at the moment. And it seems like everyone in this promotion race, I don't want to see it, everyone in this promotion race is going through similar things, because even though our form is massively inconsistent, we're still only 7 points off the top of the league. And we've got a game in hand on most of the teams above us. It's insane how inconsistent everybody is being this season. I said it earlier in the year when we were down in like 18th place. We just need a run of 4 or 5 wins in a row. We'll be right back in the mix. We got that. We were right back in the mix. Here we go. We're going to say it again. If we have 4 or 5 wins in a row, we'll be top of the league. So that's what we need to do. And hopefully it's going to start in the next match, because clearly it's not going to happen today, because Birmingham are just knocking the ball around as if we're not there now. They were top of the league last time we played them and we beat them and we absolutely thumped them and caused them to tumble down the league. I guess this is them getting their revenge. They'll come back up the league now. Now they've avenged what happened last time. They've used that team talk, the monsters. Let's avenge what happened last time. The new goalkeeper. isn't having his best game he'll have for us, hopefully. Gary Watson knows that he'd have saved that. And I think we all know Gary Watson. That's the most frustrating thing about Watson. If his head had been screwed on right, he'd have been our keeper for the next 5 years. He'd have been our keeper into the Europa League. And I don't know if the new boy will be. Hopefully he will be. Hopefully he'll develop just as well as Watson did. Because Watson wasn't a Premier League keeper when he first arrived. But he got really good, really quick. And that's what we need from some of these new signings. Right, that was poor. Now we need to go and beat Bristol City, who are up in that promotion mix still. If we start a run of 5 wins here, we will definitely be top of the league by the end of it. I am 100% confident of that. Fingers crossed. The Watson transfer has gone through. Where is he? Is Ollie Steer homegrown now? 12 months away from being homegrown at club. Excellent. So Gary Watson has gone to Orlando City. What a waste. It has fixed our finances a little bit for the time being. Obviously, we're still going to pretend that doesn't exist, but at least we've got over £1 million in the bank again, which is always good. Right, a few changes off the back of the Birmingham game. This is our game in hand against top of the table Bristol City, so fingers crossed we can pick up a win. Montebello, we've switched him just to be a goalkeeper. We've been messing around with forcing keepers to play as sweeper keepers for a little while. He really doesn't want to, so we're going to play him as a goalkeeper, at least while he gets used to life at the club. We've obviously had to switch up the centre-back partnership after McCrory got sent off in the last game. Wrongly sent off, so it's Rodgers and McLeish in there today. Moncur is going to come in and make his debut. It was a match fitness thing, because he's not been injured. He's still not fully match fit, but he has played a couple of times for the reserves. So he's going to come in and make his debut. Bowery comes back in at the expense of Moss, and we're also going to give Fayette his debut alongside Anthony Harris, and just to see if he's any good. We were rubbish in the last game. So, certainly after McCrory got sent off. Saying we were rubbish in general is probably a little bit unfair, but we needed to make some changes off the back of that match. So changes have been made. Fingers crossed we can pick up a win. We're 4th on the form table, even after that last result. That shows how mad the Championship is at the moment. So this is the game in hand. If we win it, we're right up there in the mix with Millwall and Posh, and it pushes Bristol City back down level with Burnley, and means that there'll only be 5 points between top of the table and us, with 15 games still to play, and new players bedding into our squad. So as they get better, as they get more used to playing with each other, fingers crossed, we start to get better at picking up more wins. We're definitely in this promotion mix, but you would say everyone down to probably Huddersfield is, maybe even. So it's so close this season, and we just need, like I say, we just need a bunch of wins. 5 wins in a row, and we're going to look in a much stronger position. We've just got 3 players aimlessly chasing after that guy there. We did actually win the ball back through Wearmouth, and that's a lovely pass to Harris. It ends up with Gregson, who bursts through. What a goal from Oliver Gregson! My word, that was stunning. He burst through full pace, took the ball off of Harris, and it's a lovely finish. So we've got 2 players chasing down on Harris. Here's Gregson charging through and just bursts past 3 Bristol City players, and it's a lovely finish into that far corner. That's what I missed when we weren't playing the Diamond. I love seeing the fullbacks do that. Gregson now across towards Fayette. It falls to Perry, and it's Wearmouth on the left-hand side. Finds Perry again to Fayette to Bowery. We're playing some good football. We weren't really getting this in the last game, but we're quite unlucky not to be 2-0 up at this point, because Bowery hit the underside of the bar there, and a little bit unlucky, but at least we're 1-0 up. We are the better team going into half-time, and this is the difference that it makes to the league table. It's a 4-point gap. Kev can't do maths. It's a 4-point gap if things end as they are. Guard against complacency. Everybody's more focused. We still need to keep an eye on Anthony Harris's fitness and Moncur's fitness as well, because he's obviously playing I think this is the first match he's played all season. I don't know if he was out on loan somewhere else for the first half of the season, but he certainly wasn't close to match fit when he signed for us. So we need to monitor his fitness levels. Oh, that's really scrappy. Really scrappy. And I don't know, should the goalkeeper be doing a little bit better here? Or is the onus on the defenders to actually get this clear? So the original header, Keeper doesn't touch it at any point during that move, does he? Right. We need to show some passion. We've been the best team, but as it stands right now, it's 1-1, which opens up that 7-point gap again. A 4-point gap is preferable to a 7-point gap, in my experience. If we're actually trying to win the league, really, I don't care how we go up. I just want to go up this time. Right, Moncur is going to come off. He's tired. He's not having the best of games. We've got Lerick Fernandez who can come on for him. Bowery can come off for Moss. We've got some Mick Powell knocking around on the bench for the first time in a little while. You're not going to see him today because when we bring a striker on in a minute, it'll be Ollie Steer. But it's nice to see that Mick Powell does still turn up occasionally. Gregson, header across towards not really anybody, but it was Wearmouth to Gregson again. The fullbacks are doing their thing once again, but it does mean we're completely outnumbered in this attack because we had no fullbacks. And that's the problem when the fullbacks push on, because they ruined us there. And now the gap has gone from 4 points to 10 points. This is what happens when you're playing against a team at the top of the league. In the space of, 40 minutes of game time, we've gone from being in a title race to, forget the title, 10 points is a huge gap. And we're actually just clinging on to the bottom of the playoffs now. How things have changed. Right, we need to demand more. We've got to find a way back into this game. At least get that gap back down to something more manageable than 10 points. It's not going to happen though, is it? Oh dear. This has not been a very successful episode. Oh, the new keeper. I'm not going to keep blaming keepers, but he's had 2 poor games. 2 really poor games. Perry from range, and it's just straight into their keeper's hands. Those stats. I feel hard done by again, and it's happened so many times this season, and fingers crossed it stops happening eventually. But yeah, we've thrown a 4-point gap away there. And all of a sudden 5 wins in a row, and you think, we're still not going to be even in the automatic promotion spots. The good news is we are still in the playoffs, and fingers crossed we will be at the end of the next episode too. So looking at the rest of the season, I think we're going to come back for Posh. We'll do Posh and Brentford, and then Charlton and Palace, and then hopefully some playoffs afterwards. But we'll be back tomorrow with the local derby against Posh, at which point we'll hopefully still be well in the playoff mix. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.